A blessed evening to all of you and also our brothers and sisters who are joining us in this worship through this live stream. God uses poor means, and we see this in the Bible, to accomplish His work, His plan. He usually employs poor means, simple persons who respond to His style of action. God provides the instruments to achieve the end through the persons He chose to accomplish this work. Convinced of this, popular piety recognizes the wisdom of divine choices, decreeing an extraordinary devotion, cult to the fortunate parents of Mary, the maternal grandparents of Jesus. In a book called the Proto-Evangelium of James, an apocryphal writing in the 2nd century AD, which gives the names of Joachim and Anne. We do not find these names in the canonical Gospels. And from there, these names were, and the cult of these saints, Joachim and Anne, were integrated in the liturgy, first in the liturgy of the East, the Oriental liturgy, and then later on also in our Occidental or the Western liturgy. In fact, in the East, there is a custom of greeting parents when a child is born. Thus, the birth of Christ is followed by the feast of a kind of a congratulations addressed to Mary on January 1st. And the birth of the Blessed Virgin Mary on September 8th is preceded also by the feast of this feast of congratulations to Joachim and Anne. The promise made to Abraham, close to completion, also passed through them who today enjoy the fruits of their calling themselves as blessed together with their daughter Mary, exalted by all generations as the Mother of God. One of the church fathers said about Joachim and Anne, or described them in the following way: "O blessed couple, all generation is in your death, for through you is presented the noblest of the gifts of the Creator." It was because of Joachim and Anne's faith that Mary was able to make her response of faith to God's call to her through the angel Gabriel. These grandparents of Jesus helped create the environment of faith in which he would grow in wisdom, in stature, before people and before God. We might remember our grandparents and the faith which they lived, which they helped to light the flame of faith also in our lives. And in our world today, we thank God especially for us here in the Philippines, where we have still a strong ties with our lolo and lola, and their importance in the development or our introduction into the faith. I myself, I remember my own, if I go back into my own experience of how I was introduced into Christian life, no, was through my lola, no, bringing me when there was a novena for the dead or here or there. I did not understand much, no, but it was those practices that helped me, that had an influence in me, no, and I owe this to my parents and grandparents. So to those of you who are grandparents, no, take it as part of your mission to give good examples, especially introducing your young people, your apo, no, into the faith through prayer, for example. They did not teach me that God is all those complications of doctrine before, no, but rather the living out of this, like the practice of prayer, no, respect and devotion. So don't, to our elderly people, lolos and lolas, you have a mission still now to give good example of prayer life to the younger generations, especially that of prayer now. And may the Lord, through the intercessions of Joachim and Ann, may you all continue to be light to your family. Amen.